Hey everybody, this is Chris Wojciechowski from Homes in 719. I am the realtor, broker, owner of Homes in 719 based in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And this video is all about how does a seller pick a good realtor? I've kind of put together a list of things here this morning, and this would be a good video. I think people will struggle with what is the best way to go about finding a good realtor. How do you qualify them? So I put together a surprisingly lengthy list here of things that I think would be advantageous for you to at least look into when you're talking to an agent so that you can potentially get the best one for you. One of the first things is an obvious one, look at reviews. Try to look at reviews in a few different places. So there's places like Zillow, Realtor.com, your own website, Google Business, Facebook. Some realtors really distribute their reviews out all over the place. I personally have all of mine on Google Business. You won't find them anywhere else. And that's, one reason for that is to get the count up, so there's more of them on there so that you have more information rather than trying to, ask my buyers and sellers, hey, do you mind putting a review on 10 different websites? I'm not going to do that, right? So I try to keep them all on one platform to make it easy for people to look at that. Make sure you look at the good ones. Make sure you look at the bad reviews if there are any. Um, Next is, I would say years in business is a key one. Definitely ask them or look it up on the state website. And I think all states are licensed realtors nowadays. So there's always a place you can go to confirm that they are a real estate agent and to see how long they've been one. Um, because, looking back in my career in real estate, experience definitely matters. You know how to handle more problems. You have a better network. You have better answers in most cases. So not that a new agent is necessarily bad, but typically you're going to end up paying about the same amount of money for a new agent or a seasoned agent. So why would you want the new agent? Typical things that new agent says, oh, I'm part of a team and I've got, I may not know the answer, but I'll go back to my boss, my team leader and get that answer. And while that might be an acceptable solution for you, you can also work with the team lead or the brokerage owner in some cases to, skip that process and just get to the people that have the answers instead of, working with potentially the newer agents with less experience. I think if you looked at your career, you'd probably find that experience matters, right? You look around at people and you talk to people at work. When you have problems, you go to people in the know, right? The people have been there longer, and that definitely still applies in real estate. Um, what ways do they market your house for sale? This is typical where agents get a little nervous. Maybe they might say, "Oh, I put in the MLS and it syndicates out to 220 websites or wherever the number is for that day." But that changes all the time. But what else do they do? What else do they know how to do? Do they know how to target buyers that haven't come to them already? Right. So most agents have CRMs, customer relationship management systems, where buyers might be on their website and they might I'm looking for a house in this part of town, and that's where your house is at. Um, but do they know how to find buyers that haven't done that do buy houses? So it's that's a thing I would get into more if I wanted, but I have agents that will monitor my website or my videos here. I'm not giving away the secret sauce. So I've identified some different ways to do that. Um, let's see, how many houses have they sold? Right? Have they sold any? What's their experience in selling a house as an agent, but also personally? So me personally, I've bought and sold about 20 houses as I was a fix and flipper for a while. So that gives you some different perspective as an agent when you are the person selling the house versus the agent selling the house. Yeah, I sold 40 houses, but none of them were mine. That's a different perspective. Or I don't even own a house. That might be another question you ask them. Do they own a house? Have they ever owned a house? Just to get some perspective on their experience and cost of things and in that. Um, let's see. How do they select their contractors? Just about every agent you'll find has contractors that they recommend to consumers so that they can get stuff fixed. How did they pick them? Right? Did they go to Yelp or did they go to Google Business and pick one off randomly? When you ask for one, do they need to do that to get you one? Or do they have people they've actually worked with and know and trust and do a good job for you and respond and all that kind of stuff? So you might be inquisitive on that, especially if you have some repairs or extensive repairs that you might want to take care of before you sell it. Let's see. Who's their photographer? Again, how do they pick it? Right? Do they use a photographer? Do they use their cell phone? Do they do the photos themselves? Are they a photographer if they do them themselves? If they have any training in it? You might want to look at, get them to send you previous listings so you can look at the photo quality that they send out, that they utilize to market your house, and just make sure that it meets your standards. There's a big deviation out there about, some agents use their cell phone because the cell phones have really good cameras on them, but I promise you they're not good enough as good as a professional photographer will do, especially one that's experienced. So how did they get their photographer? Who's their title company that they utilize for closing your sale, right? Is that title company experienced? Is it a brand new title company? Did they just open business last week? How many transactions have they done recently? Because are their systems dialed in? Are they efficient at getting things done? Or is it a onesie twosie that this isn't really what they do kind of thing? Because you want somebody that's done it a lot and done it recently so that all the systems are aligned and functioning well and streamlined to make your experience quick, easy, and painless. In my words, boring. Real estate should be boring. All right. The next thing is kind of a funny one that I like to use is, would you have a drink with them? Do you think you could sit down and have a meal with them based on their tone, their demeanor, their sense of humor? Or is it somebody you go like, yeah, no, I wouldn't really want to hang out with this person, right? So this person is going to be advising you on the, selling most expensive asset you've ever had. You're going to spend some time with this person. You're going to talk to them. And every time you do, you don't want to get that sense like, I don't like this guy, right? Guy or girl. I don't, right? Get through that in the beginning. Do you think you can have a meal with them? Do you think you'd want to sit down at a pub or bar and have a drink with them for a while and hang out? Like, that's the kind of relationship that I think you want to have. You don't want to have a drunk guy, right? But you definitely want to have the person you can sit down with and have a conversation with, and enjoy your time, because you're going to be working with them for a bit. Is the agent a full-time agent or a part-time agent, right? That goes into availability. How easy is it going to be able to get a hold of them when you need them? It also kind of lends to how many transactions or houses they've helped sell in the recent time, because the part-time agents typically sell less. How many houses have they helped sell recently, buy or sell? And the reason you want to ask that is, how recent is their experience with writing contracts or seeing contracts? So just recently, I had a house in the market here in Old Farm. We had 22 showings in 3 days. We got 3 offers, right? So I didn't know how to market it. I got 3 offers. I've looked at 3 offers recently in the current market. I know what the offers should be looking like, that are good offers, right? If you haven't written an offer in a while as being a buyer's agent, or you haven't received one as a selling agent in a while, do you really have your finger on the pulse for what's going on in the market? Or are they going to use your listing to figure that out, right? They're going to go through it and stumble through it. That's a big one. What data tools do they use when they talk to you about the value of your house and how fast it'll sell? What is that based on? Is it based on their intuition, their feeling, their experience, or data tools? Do they have a way to show that to you that says, hey, this is actually how long the days on market are. This is actually how long your house should sell at your price point, and be able to convey that to you, but also support their message to you with data. Can they support it, or are they just making it up? There's some really good tools out there that I utilize for that. So I have both how I feel things are going, but also how I see the data is telling me they go. Um, let's see, do they use templates for communication with you? And when I say that, you might first say, well, I don't want them doing that. But actually, I think you do. Um, templates, I use templates all the time to communicate with my clients, at least to start with the content. There's a lot of things in a real estate transaction that need to be communicated. And if you don't use templates, there's a good chance they're going to forget to tell you something. So that's why I use them. My templates have been built through, ooh, I need to reword that, or I need to tell them that differently. And through the years, I built these templates up so that I try to convey everything that the seller needs to know at the right time point, so that they're informed as to what's coming down the pipe. And I'm a big advocate of that. I start with these templates, and then I might tweak them, modify them for your situation. But it at least allows me to not forget something that I need to tell you at a specific time. Let's see. How do they determine what their tasks and reminders are? They have a lot of things they need to do for you. How do they do that? How do they manage and control that? Do they use systems for that? Or do they just, use their memory, right? What's their method for reminding themselves what they need to do for you? Um, for example, my CRM helps me with all that. Again, I have templates built for sellers. This is what the process looks like. Here's all the things that I need to do as your agent, so that I don't forget the steps through the way. I don't forget to communicate with you. I don't forget to inform you. I don't forget to send you information. And, all of that is automated to help me help you in the best possible way. Next, let's see. What is their preferred method of communication? Are you a texter and they're not? They hate cell phones. They don't use them. Do they prefer a call and you really don't? You want to be text, or you want emails? What's your availability might come into play too. As a former military person myself, sometimes you get situations, or I have clients that work in remote locations that I can't get a hold of them. Are they going to be able to call you when you're off? Can they do that? We'll walk through that communication plan so that both of you understand how that should go. Most cases, agents will adjust their communication style to you, but definitely at least understand which way that they understand it, that they prefer to do that too. How accessible are they? What hours do they work? And again, if they're part-time or full-time, and if they are full-time, do you expect them to be available at midnight because you're always up till midnight, and maybe they're not? You definitely walk through that so you understand. If you send them an email at 10 o'clock at night, when are they going to reply to it? What's reasonable? Let's see. And then what's on here? Oh, I think I mentioned this earlier a little bit. Are they on a team? Are they the team lead? Are they the brokerage owner? Who are they? On a team typically is a newer agent, not always, but that'll get flushed out through their experience. If they're the team lead, that means they run the team. That's their group maybe. And they're typically an agent with more background experience. And then, if they're the brokerage owner, that's one step even higher in most cases. So, who are they in their group? If they have a team, so that you know who you're dealing with, and I think there's probably, that's a long list. That's a couple, I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a couple a couple things on there that I think will help you to get 80% of the way there with selecting your realtor, broker. In Colorado, just so you know, broker, everyone's a broker if you're a real estate agent in the state of Colorado. And then there'll be associate broker or employing broker, and that's what I am. I'm an employing broker. I also happen to own the brokerage. You can be an employing broker and not own the brokerage. But dig into that a little bit. Spend a little bit of time, talk to a couple agents to make sure that the one you're talking to, working with, is the right one for you, so that you don't get down the road and say, I need to fire this guy. And keep in mind, you can do that. And in the contracts and provisions, there are sections in the contract that allow you to request that the agent terminate that contract. Now, it's not a unilateral, so the seller and the agent have to agree that to part ways. So you can't just say, hey, you're fired and I'm going to go get a new one. But there are ways to get out of a contract, as there is every contract. So take a look at that, make sure you understand that. In case you don't like your agent, you have a way to address that. If you have any other questions, thoughts, definitely put them in the comments, give me a call. You can find my website there, homesand719.com is a great place to go. My phone number is 719-212-4911. Again, 719-212-4911. If you have any questions, thoughts about this or something else real estate related, give me a call. I'll be happy to talk to you about that. And thanks for watching. Talk to you later.